Hello music lovers, welcome to my channel. My name is Caeser Pink. Today I'm here with my guest Jill Linta. Jill is a longtime friend and was the first keyboard player for the Imperial Orgy back in like '94. Today we're going to do Kate Bush's Army Dreamers, but before we get started, please like and subscribe. All the proceeds from this channel are donated to the Arete Living Arts Foundation. Our mission at Arete Living Arts is to create and support artists whose work inspires personal, political, or spiritual awakening. And if you wanted to support us further, you can join our Patreon or make a one-time donation via PayPal. The links are in the description below. So Kate Bush, have you ever listened to Kate Bush any?
Well, just you recommended it back in the 90s.
Yeah, that's when I got into her back in the 90s, which was kind of late in her career actually. But she's an amazing artist. She lived in kind of a creative family at a farmhouse in Wales or Ireland or something, and she started teaching herself piano at age 11. By 14 she was songwriting and kind of amassed a pretty good bunch of songs. When she was 18 she made a cassette, and David Gilmour from Pink Floyd got a hold of it, and he helped produce a demo recording session for her, took it to the label, and her family was really smart. I think she was 16 at the time, so the label wanted to sign her, but the family agreed that she wouldn't actually sign the contract until she was 18. And in the meantime, in the intervening 2 years, they set up publishing companies, all kinds of companies, in order to protect her.
The family did?
The family did,
cool.
Yeah. I think her brother was a lawyer, and but all these young people go into these contracts when they're young and get screwed over. Mm-hmm. So they were really smart. So when she was 18, she signed her contract, recorded the album, and she didn't know anything about the studio at that point, so the producers played a big role, but it was all her music and her lyrics. And the record label wanted to release what I think was the worst song on the album. She wanted to release a pretty strange song about called Wuthering Heights, about that book and movie. Mm-hmm. But they wanted to release this other one, so she threw a fit and cried, and finally they gave in and let her release the song she wanted. And it became a massive hit, not so much in America, but all over Europe. It was the first time a female went to #1 in England with a song that she wrote herself. Mm-hmm. And with each album, she took more control. By I think the third album, she was producing the records herself, and that's when she really flowered into amazing experimental stuff. And this song, Army Dreamers, I think it was, I'm not completely sure, I think it's from her third album, but I could be wrong about that. But it's a beautiful musically video, but also a very powerful video. So let's watch a little bit of that.
A bunch of purple flowers to he never had a proper education. Should have been a father, but he never even made it to his 20s. What a waste, army dreamers. Ooh, what a waste of army dreamers. Tears are a tin box.
Before I say anything about it, did you get anything from this? Do you have any idea what the subject
I
is?
was listening to the lyrics and it sounded like it didn't have any opportunities.
Yeah. So it's basically a mother whose son went into the military young and died young, and she's talking about all the things he could have been, the life he could have led. And this is a subject that interests me. It's not talked about much. The Clash did have a song called The Call Up, which was urging people to not heed the call up when they invite you to go to war. But, especially what they do to boys, it's like, you've got to be a man, go to war and be a hero. Like, being a hero is such a big thing to both men and women, but I think particularly boys. And they, in the advertising for the military, they really play on that and get, they send the youngest boys, 18 and over, to go out and do the dirty work, to kill and die for, and at that age, you're pretty young to really understand why you're fighting, what it's really about, and, send these kids off to die. But, a couple interesting things about the song: it's in 3/4 time, which is very unusual, like a waltz time. And another odd thing, I don't know what it is, but you notice like there's a camera click and then she closes her eyes and opens them every time.
No, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. But let's continue with the song.
It wasn't to know, make a chicken race a fox. He couldn't win the war to go. Give the kid the big of pips and give him all his strips and ribbons. Now he's sitting in his hole, he waits his way and buttons and bows.
What could he do? Should have been a rock star,
But he didn't have the money for a guitar.
what could he do? Should have been a politician,
But he never had a proper
what could he
education.
do? Should have been a father,
But he never even made it to his 20s. What a waste, army dreamers. Oh, what a waste of army dreamers. Oh, what a waste of all them army dreamers. Army dreamers, army dreamers.
Oh, there you see the
I caught that.
clipping. Any thoughts on this section of it?
Well, I noticed that the guy was carrying a guitar and not a gun.
Yeah, well,
What is that about?
I think in the shot before, he had the gun, and then they repeated the shot, but he had the guitar. There are a couple things that I find funny about this. I mean, you have this like war scene going on, yet they're like kind of doing choreographed dance. They're on their knees. 3 of them go up front. The next 2 will go up front. It's just sort of an odd juxtaposition. There's something else. I forget what it was, but let's continue on. I mean, I actually find this a very emotional song, and particularly that end part, where she's like seeing the son as he's young, running to him, and
Right, and then he's not there.
yeah, and then see him when he's older. But I don't know how big of a hit this was in Europe, but it's a very unusual song for pop music. And I think this is the period where she was kind of going from being seen as a pop star to being, you know, a weird artist type. Although she had a pretty hot career in Europe the whole time. A lot of people in America know her decades after the fact because she was, what was the show?
I don't know.
She was on, her music was featured on a TV show that's big in America, Stranger Things, I think it's called.
What was it?
And it put the album back on the charts at #1 for weeks. An interesting thing about the music business these days is that they have a rule that old songs, no matter how much they're played, cannot go to #1 in the charts, because people play the old music much more than the new top hits. So the new hits would probably never get to #1 if they didn't have that rule.
So?
Somehow, yeah. You know, it's got to churn out the money. But somehow she got special permission that her song could not have that rule applied to her. And I forget how many weeks she was at #1 with that. Another thing I thought was funny about this, I mean, funny, it's not really a funny video, but where Kate is concerned, the fact that she, like, filmed the shot where she blew herself up and was blown into the back. Like, I don't know how they do that. Maybe they have some kind of ropes that pull her back. I'm not sure how they do a shot like that. But,
Maybe
yeah.
like Jaws. You know, the scene at the beginning with Chrissy, and she's like, oh, this way and that way.
I don't remember it that well.
Sorry.
But, yeah, like Kate, even though she looks like this little frail waif, she's like very, you know, in there getting her hands dirty with a lot of crazy stuff she did throughout her career. It's a song where it might be easy to miss the lyrics, especially for an American, because some of the references are British. So let's read through the lyrics. BFPO.
You know what that is?
I think it's some military, you know, department. You know?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I think it's some, I don't know, some military
Shall we look it up?
section. Sure, go ahead. While you do that, I will go on. So it's BFPO, Army Dreamers, Mummy's Hero, BFPO, Mammy's Hero. And now that's, you know, when we talk about sending these boys off like that, the hero thing, and I always kind of feel anger towards the parents who, you know, like being proud of sending your sons out. It's a double-edged sword because, you know, when you take pride in sending your kids off, that's another thing propelling them to go fight and kill in situations that may not be worth fighting and killing for.
It stands for British Forces Post Office.
British Forces Post Office.
So is this a letter?
Yeah, maybe this is some kind of letter. I don't really know. Hey, going on with the lyrics. Our little army boy is coming home from BFPO of a bunch of purple flowers to decorate Mammy's hero. Morning in the aerodrome. I don't know what that means.
I don't know, but I found this. It says the term BFPO, and the lyrics refers to British Forces Post Office. Army Dreamers was one of the 68 songs considered inappropriate for airplay by the BBC during the First Gulf War.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I never knew Kate managed to get banned.
She did.
Good for her. Okay. Mourning, and that's mourning as in, at least according to these, it's mourning and being mourning for the dead, not like good morning. Morning in the aerodrome, the weather warmer, he is colder.
Well, maybe it's warm outside, but his body's cold.
Yeah. 4 men in uniform to carry home my little children. But he didn't have the money for a guitar. What could he do? Should have been a politician, but he never had a proper education. What could he do? Should have been a father.
But he never even made it to his
Thank
20s.
you. What a waste.
That is so sad. You okay? You okay?
Yeah.
Is it the lyrics? Oh man.
I don't know why this really got to me.
Yeah. Well, then you're probably not gonna like my pick.
Yeah. Let's continue. Army Dreamers, oh what a waste. Army Dreamers. Will you read the next verse? I just can't
Yeah.
do it.
Oh dear. Tears o'er a tin box. Oh Jesus Christ, he wasn't to know. Like a chicken with a fox, he couldn't win the war with ego.
God. I've listened to this
very
1,000
American.
times and never knew what these verses really were.
Yeah. Give the kid the pick of pips and give him all your stripes and ribbons. Now he's sitting in his hole. He might as well have buttons and bows. So basically the medals, who cares?
Yeah, those 2 lines at the end, I knew those and I always thought they were really powerful. I think I can do the next chorus. But he didn't have the money for a guitar. What could he do? Should have been a politician, but he never had a proper education. What could he do? Should have been a father, but he never even made it to his 20. What a waste, Army Dreamers. Oh, what a waste, Army Dreamers. What a waste, all of them, Army Dreamers. Why don't you do the last one?
BFPO, Army Dreamers. Mammy's Hero, BFPO, Army Dreamers. Mammy's Hero, BFPO, No Hard Heroes. Mammy's Hero, BFPO, Army Dreamers. Mammy's Hero, BFPO.
Now, I personally never lost anybody in the military. And so I don't know exactly why this hit me so hard, but, you know, I was a little kid during Vietnam, and that, the impact, that was like with you, it was like everywhere in a sense, even though I was a little kid, really wasn't thinking about it, but it was an always present thing.
Didn't they put like the totals every day on the news?
Yeah, at the end of the news every day there was the death toll, and doing that actually created shit where, you know, the American military, they would be killing anything alive. They would be killing the goats and cows and counting them, and what madness for a war that just should have never happened, you know. A little bit, I'll just say one thing interesting about that, which is Ho Chi Minh, who was the head of the Vietnamese army, loved America, and he had sent letters over the previous decade multiple times to the American presidents asking for the American support, because a lot of those countries saw us, you know, were a country founded on revolution. So he thought, surely they will support us trying to evict the colonizers. And then when they took over and won, their constitution was also very much based in the American Constitution, and a bunch of planes went overhead, and they thought it was the Americans coming in to like congratulate them, which of course it wasn't. So there's a million ways that war was a big mistake, just stupidity. And then presidents who didn't have the courage to end it because they didn't want to be seen as weaklings, which kind of brings you back to the, you know, the point of playing on male heroism and egotism. You know, it's like this pressure to be strong and be all these things as a male. I mean, there's a good side to it, but there's also, it's something that leads men to be manipulated and to be weak, as in the case of the presidents. Any one of them could have just ended it and saved who knows how many thousands of lives, but they didn't want to be seen as weak. We're not going to lose the war while I'm president, so we'll just drag it out till it's on the next guy's watch. So,
Right, and it's never those people that are sacrificing it.
yeah, of course.
So it's easy to say, oh yeah, I'm strong. What are you doing?
Yeah. Or your family, you know,
exactly.
or your sons and daughters going out there. Oh, God. Anyways, that's Kate Bush. She's a genius, you know. She's incredible. She did it all. Wrote music, lyrics, choreographed her music or her videos, directed her videos, and she was just brilliant, very literary, and a deep thinker, and extraordinary. So if you don't know Kate Bush, check her out. You won't regret it. But that's all for today. Thank you, Jill, for joining me, and thank you for joining. Hope to see you soon. Well, that took an unexpected turn.